Imagine spending much of your adult life trying to discover a single, simple solution. Who is your father? It's just the truth, without regard to fame, fortune, or power. For almost a decade, Ramir Carter has been doing that. The subject of this search is Jay-Z, one of the richest and most significant figures in hip-hop? Although it seems like a Netflix movie, this is real life. Ramir's narrative starts when he was a little boy and was raised by Wanda, a single mother. She told him early on that the man who was raising him wasn't his biological father. She claimed that his biological father was Sean Carter. That's Jay-Z before he became famous. Wanda says she first encountered Jay-Z when she was a child in Philadelphia in the early 1990s. In his 20s, he was becoming more and more theme music business. She says it all began when he took her to his aunt's apartment in Brooklyn. Ramir has been committed to proving the truth ever since, even years later. His mother fought on for him till her death. Legal documents, the man's DNA exclusions that were originally on his birth certificate, and a declaration she signed. Every indication still points to Jay-Z. But every time Ramir tries to involve the courts, he encounters an obstacle. Legal technicalities, jurisdictional explanations, delays you. Name it, it's happened. From here, it becomes messier. Even though Ramir paid for his own legal defense and was denied a DNA test by Jay-Z, has been referred to as a liar and a clout chaser. But when you listen to him talk, it doesn't sound like he's trying to earn money. It looks like someone is worn out, tired of the silence, the criticism, and the disregard. Now let's bring in 50 Cent. Naturally, 50 Cent won't miss this one. He is rumored to be backing Ramir and has a history of exposing industry dishonesty. Additionally, it has been stated that 50 plans to use Ramir in a future documentary that will fully reveal the circumstances. It is no longer merely a private family issue. A full-fledged media frenzy is developing. A judge recently mandated that Jay-Z respond to the complaint. By July 18th, a single choice has enormous consequences. This case is finally moving forward after the legal system put it on hold for almost a decade. That shift has important ramifications for authority, notoriety, and responsibility in addition to Ramir. The claim that Jay-Z's crew tried a peaceful settlement is one of the most ludicrous. They allegedly offered to boost R's music career and get him a slot on a label before the tone changed. Suddenly, new lawyers took control and everything was shut down. No help, no communication, no answers. Furthermore, not just legal games are being played. This person has been pulled by society. People on the internet make fun of him, say he has hallucinations, and say he is only wanting money. However, if you pay great attention, you'll hear a change in tone in his voice. He's not bitter. He's not shouting. He wants nothing but the truth. This is the pivotal moment. Considering that every well-known celebrity lie usually has a paper trail. This one also includes signatures, property records, DNA exclusions, and signed affidavits. Jay-Z has also not taken the test yet. Not once. Not even to switch off everything. Why not? How about demonstrating that this child isn't really yours? That's the question that everyone is asking now. In the early 1990s, Jay-Z was just another ambitious rapper navigating Brooklyn and Philadelphia before Rockefeller was even a popular name. That's what Wanda says. When they just so happened to meet. As a sensitive teen, she was merely attempting to make sense of her circumstances. Jay-Z, who was already in his 20s, picked her up from Philadelphia and drove her across state lines to New York. There has been a lot of outrage about just that information. The legal age of consent in Pennsylvania was 17 at the time and is now 17. If she got pregnant when she was 15 and gave birth when she was 16, then that timeline is correct. Moreover, if confirmed, it raises serious problems that go beyond paternity. Wanda kept attempting to contact Jay-Z after Ree was born, but when she spoke, there was silence. Although she listed her ex-boyfriend, Robert Graves, as the father, A DNA test years later showed that he was not. At that moment, everything changed for Rhyme. In 2010, he filed his first paternity action in court. But he quickly learned that dealing with a billionaire would not be easy. Jay-Z's legal team argued that he couldn't be forced to take a paternity test in New Jersey because he didn't live there. However, Rhyme's side countered that it showed that Jay-Z had property in the state. However, nothing changed. The judges were switched. Paperwork mysteriously disappeared. Courts claimed technological errors. It seems that the system itself did not want this case to go forward. Rimmer was even more irritated. He stopped fighting for clarity alone. He was fighting against what he's seen as blatant fraud and collusion by the justice system. His godmother, Lily Coley, became one of his staunchest allies. She has publicly acknowledged that Wanda was not only underage, but that Jay-Z's employees knew this and tried to hide it. There were rumors of potential collaborations, music prospects, label access, and even financial gain. But as soon as Rhyme spoke, the tone changed. Suddenly, the industry appeared to have come together to support one of its biggest performers. In addition to the psychological cost, Rhy is dealing with more than just a legal mess. Fusion, public humiliation, and desertion have shaped his existence. He declares, "I don't want money." He has no interest in revenge. He only wants to know where he came from. He is no longer with his mother. She just left him with the name Sean Carter and the belief that he ought to know the truth. Jay-Z's silence has made the problem worse. It's hard to understand why a man whose brand has been built on Black success, family, and legacy would be reluctant to take part? Why have you spent over a decade letting this narrative dominate you? Why not use a test to finally put a stop to it? Unless, of course, the test proves everything. Their public opinion is starting to shift. People are becoming more and more confused about why someone with nothing to hide would spend 10 years avoiding a single, simple exam. Especially given the currentality in operation, Diddy and Whispers are starting to draw parallels between subjects that haven't been discussed publicly yet. Some of the most well-known hip-hop musicians are being criticized while the genre is undergoing a storm. In spite of everything, 50 Cent continues to fuel the flames. Holding back has never been his style. According to reports, he is currently using rhyme in his documentary production. Whether it's petty, personal, or just 50 being 50, he's not going to let this tale end. The very fact that he is providing Rhyme with a platform has altered the atmosphere. The deadline has been decided. Jay-Z has until July 18th to respond to the court. There's not much time left. Rhymer Carter never set out to remove a music icon. Regaining identity, something that most people take for granted, was the main goal. Growing up, he didn't ask to be surrounded by one of the most significant hip-hop figures. He didn't follow the media or the spotlight. He only wanted a response. He is 32 years old and has spent more than half of his life attempting to get a man to simply acknowledge him. There is real pain in his voice. It's not shouting into a microphone or attempting to instigate a fight. He is quiet, grounded, and strangely calm for someone whose name has been damaged for almost a decade. He mentions his mother with awe, introducing him by his given name. She sat him down one day and said, "This is your father." She didn't just say it once and be done with it. She repeated it frequently over the years until it was ingrained in his mind. That faithfulness remained with him, that convinced him she was telling the truth. And now she's gone. Before she could get the resolution she had fought for, she died. Until her passing, people who didn't want this story to be known were accusing her of lying. Rhymer, however, is not going to let denial bury her memory. He sees this fight as his chance to grant her last wish, revealing the truth, no matter how long it takes. The details of the case are horrifying. According to reports, Wanda was just 15 years old when she became pregnant. She was allegedly taken over state lines by a male in his 20s. Just that brings up ethical and legal questions that extend far beyond fatherhood. But instead of responding to those questions, the system avoided them. Judges came and went. Courts claimed they had no authority, and documents were lost or improperly filed. At every turn, Jay-Z's team fought back with the support of strong lawyers. And now that hip-hop royalty is getting more attention, everything feels more vulnerable. It's being looked at, and people are starting to look again at every whisper, rumor, and cover-up that the industry used to hide. Jay-Z, who has long been considered a strategic genius and cultural leader, is now viewed differently. An individual who would spend millions of dollars to avoid a cotton wipe. The quiet is the most painful part. It seems inexplicable to read that a father who discusses family wealth and heritage would be so hesitant to speak with his alleged firstborn. He frequently claimed to have no desire for wealth. He only wants the truth. It's not requesting a seat at the Roc Nation table or a share of the enterprise. He only wants to know where he came from and why someone is making such a concerted attempt to get rid of him. Jay-Z is suing Ryer for defamation and is allegedly trying to put a gag order on him. That action appears to be an attempt to permanently remove the story from the public view if it is true. But it's too late to say nothing. The internet has the capacity to recall. The public pressure is growing, and this time, the story is not controlled by the lawyers working in the background. All Ree wants is for Jay-Z to take a DNA test. If it turns out that he is not the father, the story is finished. But if he is, then everything is different. For Ramir, but also for Jay-Z, his family, and his painstakingly constructed legacy. Either way, that test holds the key. As July 18th approaches, everyone in the world is also anticipating if Sean Carter will finally come clean.